So, Wes Watson is in trouble. I've not actually heard a lot about Wes Watson recently. I didn't even know he was in jails or, being prosecuted. So, we'll have a look what's happening with him, the clown.
Alpha male influencer just got a reality check from the judge because Wes Watson was already out on bond, but he was just arrested again.
Each police have listed as the arresting agency. The Post also shared that Watson is facing 5 charges, including armed robbery, felony battery, aggravated assault, and witness tampering. Wow. I mean, I know he assaulted somebody that came into his gym or or the gym that he attends anyway. If he does, I'm not sure if he owns it. I know that happened. So I'm not sure if that is the aggravated assault part. We'll have to have a look as Atozy gets into the video.
On multiple felony charges tied to a domestic violence case, and after that, he ignored a direct warning from the court, and I guess a judge has now revoked his bond entirely, meaning he's not getting out anytime soon. The dude is locked up. Yet again.
A well-known fitness influencer was caught by cops.
He was arrested for allegedly...
Is he a fitness influencer? You have to let me know in the comments, right? Because I thought he was just like a red pill guy, and I know a lot of the red pill guys in favor of physical fitness, and I am as well. But they don't usually focus on that at all. They just say go to the gym. They don't usually make fitness based content, from what I'm aware. Not like Athlete X and these sort of guys.
Beating up his girlfriend and was so vicious, say police, she had bruises all over her body.
I mean, his whole brand is essentially being the guy who used to be locked up, but he got his life together with pure discipline. But now, I don't know, I guess that discipline's just missing.
Yeah, I think this is what happens when you don't have Jesus in your life. I know some of you atheists aren't going to like me saying that, but I do really think that without Jesus as the sort of moral compass, it's easy just to think, nobody's watching, I can do this thing, nobody cares, there's not going to be no big deal, no repercussions. But there is repercussions, not only in the physical world, but, karmic retribution will be enacted out against you from any which direction. So, yeah, don't be doing this stuff.
Now he's locked up again. So here we are talking about Wes Watson yet again. So where are things standing right now? Well, Wes Watson is not getting out. And after his latest arrest in Broward County, he went into court thinking that he would be able to post bond and walk free like before. But there was just one massive problem for him. The judge had already warned him, if you get arrested again.
Oh, dear. See, I'm unaware of some of the law here, so this is quite interesting for me because I do not like Wes Watson. I think he's a moron.
And while you're out on bond, that bond is gone. And of course, that's exactly what happened because a Miami-Dade County judge officially revoked his bond after the new arrest, which means he's now sitting in jail, awaiting trial with no release date in sight, and his attorney can now file motions, and I guess they can try to fight it, but as of right now, he's staying locked up. So obviously,
I mean, I don't know enough about this case. I can't really make a prediction. And not only that, I don't think Christians really meant to make predictions unless we are prophets. But I don't foresee this going very good for Wes. If he's already been to prison, the judge has already warned him, and then now he's in the dock. I mean, I kind of think he's going to see some repercussions for this.
You have that whole other incident with the $115,000 bond from the case that we've also covered here on this channel, revolving the whole alleged gym assault incident.
Yeah, I'm aware of that one. Described far more violent confrontation. 57-page lawsuit alleges that Ibrahim was lured into the gym under the pretense of a challenge and then attacked by Watson. Don't know about lured. I think Wes Watson put out a challenge, didn't he? And then he accepted the challenge and came down to the premises. I mean, he also made inadequate steps in resolving this issue by going down and fighting Wes. You know what I mean? They're both at fault. He shouldn't have gone down. He's not innocent. He's not didn't get lured down as though he's like brainless, like a remote control car. Like drove him down there.
You see, that alleged incident is still active, and I guess when this new situation happened, it wasn't just another arrest, it was a violation of the conditions that he was already under. So that's the kind of thing that judges don't play around with. So there's now newly released footage of police showing up and taking him right into custody and serving him with a domestic violence restraining order right there on the spot.
Two things. One is we need to serve a restraining order on you.
What's restraining order?
Domestic violence restraining order.
He's trying to get money from me, guys. Okay. I have the screenshots. I have screenshots. Hey, call my lawyer.
Where did you reach?
So now you have 2 active cases.
Wouldn't the calling of the lawyer be done later, though? Wouldn't they do that once they took him down to the cop shop, or whatever you want to call it in Yankee speak? I'm sure they're not going to call up his lawyers there during the actual arrest.
Multiple felony charges and a judge who's already made it very clear that he's just done giving chances. And as a reminder of what his latest arrest is about, his victim had gone to the Miami Heat game with a friend. And at some point, a video or photo from the game made its way back to Wes.
Oh, right. So, yeah, this is all new law to me. I mean, Wes is a bit cringe, but I don't really pay that much attention to him. Unlike, I suppose, Hassan Piker, I like to keep relatively up to date with what moronic stuff he's doing.
So police say that he got angry over what she was wearing and accused her of being disrespectful and, I guess, cheating on him. And this is where things escalate dramatically. So when she returned to his residence, he confronted her and it turned very violent. Police say that he physically restrained her, shook her, and then applied pressure to her neck. And they also allege that he threw her to the ground, dragged her by her hair, and struck her multiple times. We've known.
Oh, no. Yeah, don't be doing that, lads. No. If a woman is behaving in such a manner and you are not able to calm her down or anything, you just need to leave. Leave her alone. Let her chill out. Let her come back to you. If she doesn't contact you ever again, it's no big loss. There's 4 million women in the world. You don't need to worry too much if she's not going to come back to you. But yeah, assaulting her, probably, I don't know. You just remove yourself from the situation, Wes. You know, the Aristotle's golden mean would indicate that you went towards the reckless side of the moral compass.
For a while, this guy's been a scumbag, but if any of this is true, he's a monster. Because at one point, investigators say that he forcibly slammed her head into a table. And of course, it doesn't even stop there. So what did he do next? Well, he apparently did not allow her to leave the residence. So her movement was then restricted, and she was being threatened throughout the entire experience. And that's where the false imprisonment charge comes into play, because this wasn't described as a quick argument that got out of hand. It left her with visible injuries, including bruising and cuts. And this all happened while he was already out on bond for another violent case. So from a legal standpoint, this isn't just about like what happened inside that house. Apparently it's a pattern. Obviously, this is if all this is true, but that's most likely how all of this is going to be framed moving forward, because both of these cases involve violence. Both.
Yeah, and I think Wes as well, he's not even like, he's capable of violence, obviously, but in the grand scheme of things, he's probably a bit of a wimp, I imagine. Imagine if there was somebody confronted him and he was a bit taller than him, a bit larger than Wes. Wes would like shrink. He'd want to have nothing to do with it. Maybe he'd lip like a little yappy dog, but he wouldn't be getting involved in the fight.
Are still active, and now.
And not that I'm saying everybody needs to go out fighting, because I think, fighting, if you're not doing it in like an actual sport like boxing, kickboxing, or for self-defense to get away from a threat, is it's chump material.
Now, completely stacked on top of each other. So the first case I'm talking about is the arrest over the fight that happened in the Miami gym, Elevation Fitness. In this situation, Wes is claiming self-defense for the whole fight, which is insane considering, him and his friends are on video kicking the guy and using gym equipment on him while he was already on the ground. So, I don't...
Big hard man in a group, into with weapons, Wes. I bet he doesn't do all on his own, though.
I don't know what all that is about, but I digress. I'm just saying this looks awful for him. Them claiming self-defense, trying to show that he's not controlled by his anger, and then he gets arrested for a horrific case of domestic violence. This is just the pinnacle of stupidity. Remember, why did Wes think this guy came to the gym to fight him?
I'm famous. I get 90 million messages a day.
Okay, I mean, this guy is just...
Well, if you're going to say foolish things on the internet, you're going to get lots of nasty comments like that. I mean, I don't have an active social media really besides just uploading to YouTube. So I get funny comments, like funny as in like moronic comments. But I'm hardly going to start issuing out fights and stuff over people being morons. Why would you live your life this way?
So unbelievably obnoxious. Granted, though, it's not like he was doing well at convincing the court that he didn't have any anger problems even before he was arrested yet again. Because right before he held his girlfriend captive and hurt her, his disposition involved him making fun of the lawyer and just throwing an absolute toddler fit. I am not exactly...
Oh my days, man. These people, I don't know why they have to make things worse for themselves. I mean, I could elaborate on that. I'll let this play a bit more before I start giving examples.
He said things to the lawyer like, your busted. Like, you're talking about stupid Why does he get to cut me off? Your questions are like belonging in a circus. You're like an old dude from Florida or something. Like, dude, why are you...
What? You live in Florida, though. Why sure, and being old, if he's a lawyer, means that he might have a breadth of experience that the younger people might not have. And I know young lawyers are going to be very annoyed with me saying that, but logically, you would presume that the old Floridian solicitor would be advantageous. Why would, if you was like Florida from like Ohio, then maybe not. But I'm not really an expert on American law, so disregard what I'm saying in that instance. But I don't understand Wes's point.
Saying all this in court. Shut up. Let your lawyer do the talking unless you are specifically asked a question to answer. Honestly, he is pretty much at the top of crash outs. So when Wes got arrested again in Broward County, it wasn't just like some new charges. It was a violation tied directly to that original case. And that's why the judge did.
Oh my days. Like, I don't know how you can go through life being this stupid. Just like keep making decisions which are in the long run disadvantageous to your life being full of fruit, I would say. I'm so glad I'm with Christ and that I'm not going to get drawn into this moronic stuff like what Wes does.
Didn't hesitate at all when it came to revoking his bond, because from the court's perspective, this is clearly a pattern. So you've got one alleged violent incident still unresolved, then another one happens just while you're out on bond for the first one. And that's exactly the kind of situation where judges stop giving the benefit of the doubt. Apparently, there were also others in the house while all this was happening, and they didn't step in. In fact, investigators say that one of them was actively told to make sure the victim didn't leave. And at one point, he was allegedly positioned by the door while everything was going on, basically acting like a barrier.
He had his own personal employees threaten her. He had his own personal employees oversee her to see what she was doing on the phone, Your Honor. I think there's even made reference to the victim that she effectively felt like she was being held hostage.
So naturally, the next big question is, why are these people not being charged? Well, now we have an answer. So one of them...
Right, he's going to answer that then, because I was getting a bit confused why the rest of them weren't in the dock with him, especially if they're holding weights and helping holding him down. I mean, surely that is taking part in the assault, I would
Jose
presume.
has now been arrested, and the charges against him are serious because he's facing felony false imprisonment just like Wes, along with witness tampering, which, you know, in simple terms means authorities believe there was some kind of attempt of influence or to interfere with the victim, whether that's pressure, threats, or trying to control what's being said. But what makes this even more interesting is not everyone present has been charged. So at least one other person who was there hasn't been arrested. And I guess when you see that, when one person gets hit with multiple felonies and another person walks free, it raises some pretty obvious questions. Did someone talk? Because in situations like this,
Seems like it, doesn't it? If there's only some of them being arrested and some of the others aren't, somebody has squealed, it would seem. And I don't know, I suppose, you know, I would say that squealing is probably not such a good idea. But as a Christian now, I think, you know, telling the truth is paramount. So if they've told the truth and come forward, then tough titty.
wouldn't that be how it goes? I don't know. I'm just a villager idiot. We're just covering the situation with the available information to us right now. Now, I mean, nothing's been officially confirmed on that front, but by the way this is playing out, it definitely feels like something else is going on behind the scenes. And I mean, if that's true, this could become a huge factor in what happens next in court. So since he's been taken into custody, Wes hasn't exactly been walking around like, you know, the guy that you see online anymore. So according to John Bravo, who talked to Wes's old employees and people who've been inside the jail, the moment he came in, most of the inmates already knew who he was, and they weren't buying the whole alpha persona.
Because I ended up talking to two employees, former employees who worked for Wes, right? And they stayed in the house with him. He said, one day, John, he goes, I woke up and I saw Peggy sitting on the kitchen table with the mountain of that creatine and his face stuck in it like Al Pacino from Scarface. I've never seen a white man do that and not drop dead.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm such a fan of this individual as well, actually. I kind of think him and Wes are both cringe. But he's right, yeah, he's not wrong.
And so this was taking a lot. I wanted to find out how this was doing with all that withdrawals in the jail, right? I ended up speaking to two people who are in the jail who could tell me the story of what's going on with them. And they told me, they go, John, listen, when he got here, all those inmates, most of them knew who he was and they weren't having any of his. So
instead of being loud,
Fafo, man. You want to give it the big hard man, I'm the big I am. Then people are going to seek you out, man. One of the reasons I'll never issue out a boxing challenge and was it like the Dragon Lord, the German guy who was offering people to come to his house and gave him his address, so then he just got relentlessly harassed, and people would travel to Germany specifically to go harangue him. The more you behave like a big hard man on the internet, the more of this stuff you're going to attract, which might be good for your analytics in some way. But is it going to be conducive for a fruitful life? I don't think so.
Out in control like he is on camera, he's reportedly been keeping to himself. And a big reason for that might be what he's dealing with physically right now, because based on reports from people familiar with his lifestyle, he was using a mixture of substances. Everything from, I don't know how much I can even say on this channel. A whole bunch of gym bro stuff. And when you suddenly get locked up,
Man, if anybody's watching this to this point, right, and you're taking gym bro substances, like, just knock it off, man. It's not worth it. Not worth it. It all stems from pride. It's sinful. Stop doing it. Just do it the normal way, like the ancient Greeks used to do.
that stops immediately, and that's where things get rough. So there are claims that his withdrawals are really bad, and he's actually had to been moved to a separate unit in the jail, specifically for inmates going through detox. So now, instead of the guy online preaching discipline, control, and mental toughness, you have someone sitting in a jail unit dealing with the reality of coming off everything at once, and I guess the reality of his own actions. And the reason this is being mentioned and why it's so ironic.
I mean, I'm so glad. I will just say I don't take drugs. I've stopped smoking, and I'm so glad that I've stopped doing all that stuff. And it is one thing that moved me closer to God. You know, the more you take drugs, the more it moves you away from God. So, yeah, maybe this could turn Wes around, but I doubt it. It's probably just going to go through the exact same loophole again.
Is because if you go back and listen to his content, he talks consistently about having control of your impulses, mastering your habits, being unshakable no matter what. But now all of that is being tested in the one place where I guess you can't fake it. So he's now facing multiple felony charges across 2 separate cases, and there are going to be hearings, motions, and eventually a trial, unless something gets resolved before that. But honestly, with everything stacked on top of each other like this, it's going to be serious. And we're talking about charges that can carry real prison time if he's convicted. And on top of that, you've got this added layer of violating bond conditions, which judges tend to take very seriously when it comes to sentencing and decisions moving forward. So now, instead of being online telling people how to live their lives, he's sitting in a cell, waiting to find out what happens to his own. And I guess at this point, the only thing left...
Karma, and it's a bit annoying in one way because I do agree with a lot of red pill philosophy, and I think it is a better way to orientate yourself as a man, or even a woman in the world, because essentially red pill philosophy tries to seek truth as best as it can. But there's people like Wes Watson, HS Tiki Toki, Fresh and Fit, Andrew Tate, obviously, that make a complete mockery of it all by contorting it into a Frankensteinian version of what the rest of us know to be the red pill. And that's the way I sort of feel about it. I don't know, maybe other people disagree. Maybe other people think that these red pill influencers are always right and that they've got legitimate advice for you. But I just think they're big dummies. I'm quite honest with you, for the most part anyway. Not all of them. Some of them are pretty good, like Legion of Men. But a lot of them, yeah, complete waste of time.
To see is how all this plays out in court, and I'll keep you guys updated. So hey, if you're new here,
yeah, and then we wonder why the feminists and that don't take it seriously when there's these goons going around doing this kind of stuff. But anyway, I'll leave my video for you anyway. If you want to watch this, the link is in the description, and you can watch it without me talking, get the gist a bit better. But if you were watching my channel up to this point, you know, give the video a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.